We're live. Hey, everybody. Tammy Ebright here. And today my special guest is Roger Savy. Thank you for joining us, Roger.
Tammy, good to hear your voice, and thank you for inviting me. Looking forward to chatting with you.
So Roger is a certified referral trainer with me, and I met him right at about 2 years ago in Atlanta when we were both at Michael Mayer's certified referral trainer training. And I was very struck by a couple things with Roger. I was struck by his incredible accent and then his presence. He's got a great presence. He's a great speaker. And about a month and a half ago, I reached out to him and we began having some conversations. And he's actually got a little nickname called the Unshackler? Is that right?
I'm the unshackler or the ambassador of optimism, either one of those two.
Yes. And so I thought that he would be really great to have a conversation with you guys over. He is consistently rated as a top speaker. He helps train loan officers and real estate agents in California. And thank you, Roger, for joining me today. Is there anything else that you would like to add and introduce yourself, please? Please do.
Well, Tammy, thank you. You're right. We met together as certified referral trainers with Michael Mayer in Atlanta a couple of years ago. And I was struck by your intensity and your focus. I knew that at some point we were going to stay friends and or work together. And you are a person that you have great energy. It precedes you, and you always show fabulous grace under fire. You have that tenacity which brings people along, and I'm very pleased to work with you. I come from a diverse background. I'm a South African. I've been in your beautiful country for 22 years. I'm not going to lose the accent. I'm stuck with it. And my original mustering, I ran heart-lung machines during bypass surgery. So I understand what teamwork is and checklists, because if you don't have structure and checklists and know your drills, somebody is going to die. So that has formed my background. I've been in the pharmaceutical industry. I was VP of marketing for Bristol Myers Squibb's international cardiovascular franchise. And I assisted about 20,000 salespeople across 48 countries. And at that level, you learn to have a tidy mind for marketing, sales, regulatory, medical, and you learn to take complicated stuff and break it up into bite-sized chunks. And so thank you. I look forward to being here. I live in San Francisco, California, and I've got the wonderful Tammy in front of me.
Well, you were talking, and I know that this week you were able to share a great presentation with some agents, and you're going to share some slides and a little bit of a market update that you talked about there, and we're going to converse around some of the stuff that you did there, as well as some other stuff that I've prepared. So look at there we are.
There we are. There's the wonderful Tammy. And so, yes, thank you. So I'm going to see if these slides will advance. I notice they're not moving. Let me try a different angle. Give me a second here. Let's go to share. Go here. Here.
And now this was your first, this is your first Facebook Live too?
This is my first Facebook Live, Tammy. And so I'm a little bit...
on your first Facebook Live.
It's true, it's true, it's true. So to the people that are listening to us, thank you for being here. And the way we survive this is to stop focusing on yourself and focus on others. It gets the energy in the right direction. And you heard recently, Tom Hanks and his wife contracted the COVID-19 virus. Now, this is what to remember. Tom Hanks saved Private Ryan. He survived a year in a terminal building. He landed a plane on the Hudson. He contracted AIDS in Philadelphia. He was a castaway for 4 months. He survived the Apollo landing 13. He tangled with Somali pirates off the east coast of Africa, and he saved Lieutenant Dan. If anybody can survive COVID virus 19, it's wonderful Tom Hanks. And this is about bringing some energy and levity to this situation. We are learning so much about ourselves at this time now. Just know that we're not just surviving, we are going to thrive. And so, Tammy, a question we can ask ourselves every day is, what will we learn today, you and I? The people that have tuned in to listen to us, what will they learn today? But more importantly, what will they teach today? Who will they focus on? And look at this little circle here. It's called PTFAR. Your programming, your attitude dominates your thoughts, and your thoughts dominate your feelings. And your feelings are the actions that you take, the results that you get, which reinforces your programming. And you and I agree that if your attitude is, I'm going to focus on someone else today, I'm going to bring positivity, that affects your thoughts, and your feelings lead you to better actions, you get better results, and next minute you intervene on that cycle. Because your brain is only there to protect you. But you could also decide, I'm going to intervene, I decide to be positive, and next minute you don't only survive, but you thrive. Would you agree with that?
Yes, yes. So the actual definition of surviving is just to continue to live or exist, or keeping alive at all odds. And so, I think that we're all kind of doing that, right? We're all just keeping alive at all odds. A lot of people are just kind of in survival mode. And building resilience is what we're doing in these times, is when life-changing events, and I would say that right now we're going through a little bit of a life-changing event, then
Yes,
one of the first things that we need to do is acknowledge that maybe this is hard in the moment, but it's not the worst thing that I've ever experienced.
It's not the worst thing I've ever experienced either.
Yeah, that we've experienced as a country either. We've had some really hard times. And I know that we are building resilience. It's our body's natural way to get through things and help us survive, and then move into thriving, which would be the next step in our evolutionary process. So we have to go through all of these things to get to the next level.
Oh, absolutely right. Absolutely right. I remember, we can ask ourselves, where were you on 9/11? Do you remember we were fearful then of another terrorist attack? We didn't want to go to restaurants. We didn't want to go anywhere. We were hunkered down, no airplanes in the sky. And we got through that. We got through that horror, and we're going to get through it now. And you're right. Our brains are only there to make us survive, and therefore we become fearful and dread.
Mm-hmm.
But as we've learned that not every day is a good day, but there is good in every day. And diamonds are formed under huge pressure. So no pressure, no diamonds. And we will come out of this like diamonds. We'll come out of this strong, having learned so much about ourselves and about other people. All I look around now is I see people being really nice to each other.
Yeah.
And yes, we're washing our hands. Did we have to wait for this to suddenly realize you have to wash your hands just for good living? I've washed my hands so often that my smartphone doesn't even recognize my thumbprint anymore. I've washed it off.
You washed your thumbprint off.
It's true. It's true.
Well, I have always washed my hands, but I do wash my hands longer than I did before, because 20 seconds is probably a little bit longer than I was washing my hands before. So I am saying my ABCs when I wash my hands. So I'm teaching myself my ABCs again.
Yeah. And I normally do happy birthday to me. Happy. That it takes about 20 seconds.
Yes.
And then it's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've learned to not let the water run too fast because that's just wasting water. I have it sort of pushed back. So it's just a gentle flow, and really enjoy the fragrance of the soap and find happiness in some small things.
In small things. Yeah.
Yeah. Little things.
It's not that hard. Yeah.
It's not that hard. And we're certainly going to get through this. And that makes me just very excited. So I'd really like to find out from you, Tammy, what are some of your routines that you have daily to give yourself structure in your life?
Well, some of the routines that I have is actually, I like to set daily goals.
Mm-hmm.
So, and making sure that, such as getting up at the same time each day, and getting ready mostly. I mean, I may not put on makeup every day, but I was already working from home mostly. So my life has not changed dramatically. I was already really working towards, my business was online. You know, my mortgage business was working from home mostly. My coaching business, a lot was virtual. So relatively speaking, I had been working towards being online for the last couple of years. So this was not a huge shift for me personally.
Well, so as you're speaking, it reminds me as well, you like myself, I like to operate at a level 10 as much as I can every day. Sometimes it's an 8, sometimes it's a 7. But in order to operate at a level 10, especially with these emotional highs and lows that are going on in the marketplace, having structure, having healthy habits is imperative. So just like you, the alarm goes off in the morning, I've got to count to 5 to be out of bed. Otherwise, I'm going to lie there. So get out of bed, swing those legs out of bed, grab that glass of water and chug it all the way down. Don't question it, just chug that glass of water, because there's that thing in the base of your brain called your reticular activator, and everything important about your life is there, and you are dehydrated from a night's sleep. So pour some water on your brain in the morning, and suddenly everything that's important to you comes alive. Your children's names, the well-being of your parents, your significant other, how much money in the bank, and whose life are you going to enhance today with that one simple, healthy habit? By chugging that glass of water, prompts a whole series of things in my brain. And then, excuse the silliness of this one, Tammy, but you and I spoke about it recently. Make your bed. Some people say, oh, I can't make my bed. My significant other is still sleeping. No, you can make your side of the bed and make it look neat. Why? That's already one victory for the day done. Remembered, everything that's important to you has come alive. You made your bed. Success starts.
Yeah, you can check one thing off of the list. It's one thing that you've already accomplished for the day by making your bed.
Just making your bed.
Yeah.
You've drunk a glass of water. It's a macronutrient. You're a little bit, now you're starting to rehydrate. And that's a much better thing to do before you stumble down the stairs to greet the day and then pour coffee on your brain, which probably would dehydrate you just a little further.
The other thing that I like to do first thing in the morning is be grateful. I actually have started saying, thank you, God, for waking me up again today.
Oh, that gratefulness. Tammy, what an important thing to wake up being grateful, because that immediately is your attraction magnets are on.
Mm.
And what you are grateful for, you attract more of that. It's just a good karma thing, or it's a religious thing, or it's a spiritual thing. Just deciding to be grateful. Was it Jim Rohn that said gratitude is the attitude that begins the receiving process? So fabulous point. Wake up grateful. Wake up grateful. And show me the people you're hanging out with. Show me the books you're reading, and I'll show you your future.
Yes.
So what book are you reading at the moment?
What book am I reading at the moment? I am reading, well, the one that I'm really into right now is this human design.
Aha, tell me more.
So this is the science of differentiation, and it is your chart of when you entered Earth at the time and the day that you were born and where you were born, and you can get your free chart online, and then you break it down inside the book, and it is like your human design, kind of your life purpose, and shows your a strategy and your authority. And basically what I've learned about myself inside this book is not things that I didn't completely know, but it's helped me to understand like little things that I may have doubted. For example, like I know that if I don't listen to my intuition, I get dropped on my head, literally.
Yeah, yeah.
But so I am what's called a manifesting generator. So in order for me to use my authority correctly, if before I can do something, to move on something, somebody should ask me questions that are like yes or no questions. And if it's a yes, usually I'll be like, uh-huh, or uh-uh. And if it's an uh-uh, I shouldn't let people talk me into it. So when I let people talk me into it, that's when I end up getting in trouble. And so when I think back to times where I've known, and I've went ahead and ignored my own inner guidance, those are the times in my life that I've really struggled. And so I've really been enjoying charting myself and my kids, and I'm seeing some really cool correlations with this, and then the work that I do with DISC and driving forces, which those assessments actually are more detailed on how to engage with others, where this is more about yourself personally.
Wow.
I never knew I was going to be a science geek. I didn't, but it turns out I kind of am.
Well, yeah, and that's what you're good at, and do more of that.
Yeah.
Do more of that, because not only does that make yourself feel better, but a whole bunch of people around you will grow from your knowledge. That's what you will teach. And people are looking for some certainty today. And this is how, in the old days, it was ABC, always be closing. And today it's changed. ABC means always be contributing. And that's the way you contribute to people, no doubt. The book that I'm currently reading, Tammy, is I'm reacquainting myself with Darren Hardy's book, The Compound Effect.
I love that book.
Yeah, and it's just reminded me that little things over time make such a dramatic difference, and that waking up every morning and getting into a routine of getting out of bed within a count of 5, chugging a glass of water, making your bed, moving your body for 20 minutes every day. Why? Because motion equals emotion. Don't try and solve anything in your day until you've moved your body, because you're in a much higher peak state to be more thoughtful, more logical after you've moved your body. And so it has reminded me that one thing can change everything. Just one thing.
Yep.
You and I have always agreed that you don't have to do a 180-degree difference in your business or your attitude. Pick one thing and stay consistent with it, because one thing can change everything. I'm not particularly good with sports analogies, but if you take a golf ball and you strike it, if you're just 1 millimeter off, that ball over time goes into the rough. Just 1 millimeter in the other way, and you're on the green and into the hole. So little things over time make dramatic differences. If a plane takes off from LAX on the way to LaGuardia, and the gyroscope, the little compass is off just by 1 degree, and they don't change it, by the time they get to the East Coast, the plane is 150 miles off, or 2 states away from LaGuardia. Little things over time make a massive difference. And to you and I, and to anyone who's listening to us, pick one thing
To work
of
on.
positive energy and stay the course with it, and watch how one thing can change everything. And even in the midst of darkness, as I said, not every day is a good day, but there's good in every day. Do that one thing that changes everything.
Now, we talked about that we were going to do a little bit of a market update and kind of give our opinion on what the market is. And I think that did you have a slide on that?
Yeah, I think I have. Let me go back. As I said, I'm not that proficient with this, but let's see what we do here. And we share. I want to go slideshow, resume slideshow. Okay, can you see my slides there, Tammy?
I can, yep.
Fantastic. So, all right. In times of uncertainty, people follow certainty. So if you're going to talk to your clients, talk to them with certainty. They're looking for that leadership. Become the trusted advisor, not just the salesperson. They should be thinking about you continuously for update. We've undergone the longest recovery in North American history until recently. We knew there was a recession coming. The COVID virus merely sped it up. And question number one is that money is coming in and out of the stock market globally and locally. What does that mean to real estate? Look at this symbiotic relationship for the last 50 years between the 10-year treasury and the 30-year mortgage rate. 50 years of symbiosis. And you can see the treasury rate has come down more and more because people are moving their money from stocks, as we've seen, into bonds, and it's driving down the treasury rate, and the 30-year interest rate is getting lower and lower and lower. And that means fabulous affordability for your clients. And some of the talking points for that, as I've just mentioned here, no matter what, the interest rates, whether you get the lowest interest rate or it goes up a little bit, interest rates have never been so low. It's a historic opportunity to sell and buy, to buy for the first time, to buy a second property, whatever it may be. It is a fabulous time to move ahead with your real estate dreams. The second question, Tammy, is with the stock market that's gone through the worst 2 or 3 weeks in the longest time, what does that do for home prices? Well, if you look at 2007, 8, and 9, there was an S&P 500 correction. The market dropped 51%, and over 2007, 8, and 9, home values went down by 20%. But what's important about that is that what caused that is very different to what's happening. What caused that in 2007 was housing and mortgage. That's not what's happening today. So that's not a good model to look at. What is a better model, Tammy, is the dot-com crash and 9/11. And during the dot-com crash and 9/11, you can see there was an S&P correction of 500 points. But in 2000, 2001, and 2002, what happened to home prices? They went up. They went up by over 20%, which is what is going to happen now during this time, because banking is strong, mortgages are strong, Real estate is strong. People are not using their homes as an ATM machine, and we're not going to make the same mistakes as in 2008. So this is really good news for your clients. And question 3, are we heading for another recession, and what does that mean? The best way to answer that, to anyone who's tuned in to listen to us, the best way to explain this to your clients is one of a tornado and one of a snowstorm. A tornado comes into town, raises buildings, raises trees and streets and buildings. That's what happened in 2008 when banks went out of business. But if there's a snowstorm, that also brings the economy to a stop, just like the tornado. But what's going to happen is that the snow is going to melt and it's going to come back. So the melt, the greenery will come back. We've got nothing to rebuild, unlike the tornado that hit us in 2008. What we're experiencing now is a snowstorm and much stronger fundamentals in the economy. The snowstorm is extrinsic. What happened to us in 2008 was internal. This is an external thing. And as soon as we flatten that curve, we get back to normality. Look what Goldman Sachs is predicting for us, Tammy. Recession beginning in March. It'll continue into the second quarter. And then as that pandemic wave goes past us, we see it rebounds in the third and fourth quarter. And 2021 should be absolutely fabulous. And the final point here, Tammy, because I don't want to hog all the time. Look at the home prices during the last 5 recessions. Of course, the one in 2007 is what we remember, but that was caused by mortgage and real estate. Different. In 2001, 91, 81, 1980, all the prices went up. So we're going to have a recession, but a recession does not mean housing crisis. And say that again, recession does not mean housing crisis. We've got a snowstorm now, and we're going to come out of this. And finally, look in 2005, 6, and 7. Look at all the cash out refinances. People were using their houses as an ATM machine. Look at now in 17, 18, and 19. A fraction of people are doing cash out refinances. So there is way more logic, better attitude. People are not using their houses as ATMs. And there is all sorts of things in place to protect us from FHA. Moratorium on evictions, on foreclosures, because we're going to come out of this snowstorm. And look at this graph. Normally, affordability is 21% of our income. Now it's 14.8% of our income. Why? Income has been going up. Interest rates have been coming down. It is the perfect time to move on with your real estate dreams. So we only get today once, and let's make the best of it. Well, good news. Walmart's hiring. You can go and work minimum wage with food stamps, or you can decide to reach out to your clients with fabulous news. Remember, people only believe 15% of what they hear and 85% of what they see. So you can show them great information and let them see that you can be certain in a time of uncertainty. Thank you for that time there, Tammy.
Yes, no, I think that is such great information. And when we talked about that yesterday and you brought that in, the difference to me, I thought that was really good, because I had been feeling like this felt like 9/11. Like this felt like 9/11, and I didn't know why. Not once was I thinking that this felt like 2008. Yeah. But I did feel a little bit like 9/11.
Yes.
And I didn't know why until you showed me those slides, and I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. You know, it really, it brought it to me in a different perspective of why it felt that way.
Absolutely, Tammy. So to everyone who listens to this discussion, know that you are a solutionist. Know that you are the gift. You've got what people want. So people are already a yes. You've got to just get out of your own way and get into contribution. Share. So you've got what people want and people are already a yes. All you've got to do is contribute, and you will be that beacon of certainty. You will be that shining light that people want to hear. You will bring that structure. And how do we get there, Tammy? It's just what you and I have discussed. Get out of bed in the morning at the same time. Drink that glass of water. Make your side of the bed. Read 10 pages of your book in the morning, 10 pages of your book at night. Let it be the bookends of your day. One thing can change everything. And I'm sure you've got a couple of other positive things to add to that.
Yes. Make sure that you're tracking your progress, like writing things down and tracking what you're doing each day is really important, because it's really easy during this time to get sidetracked and get at the end of the day and feel like you either didn't accomplish something or get down on yourself. And I think that the way to really make sure that you are staying accountable to yourself and true to your goals is that you're tracking. So making sure that you're making, just 5 calls to connect with people, making sure that you're still making that human to human contact, still building relationships. You may not be able to get out and have coffee with people right now, but you can have Zoom conversations.
Yeah.
Like, have a happy hour with your people and, do a group happy hour with your top people right now and really connect and bring people together. People are starving for connection right now, and you can be that connector still. And it's even more time efficient. And hey, as a high D, I love efficiency.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right, Tammy. And so to those people who tune in, here are the people in your life that require your personalized attention. Here they are. Anyone who has ever entrusted you with their money in the past needs some of your love and attention. Anyone who's ever given you a lead in your life, anyone who talks you up, your ambassadors, your advocates. So anyone who's ever entrusted you with their money, or those who might never have entrusted you with their money, but talk you up, love you, care about you, those are the gift in your life. And you're a solutionist to reach out simply by saying, I am so grateful that you're in my life. I can't let another day go past that just reaching out and letting you know how much I care about you. And here is some good information why we're going to thrive moving forward. Remember the concepts of the tornado versus the being snowed in, the snowstorm. Bring uplifting messages to that group of people in your life, because when this thaws and the snow goes away, those people that you reached out to may not wish to do business with you immediately, but they know a whole bunch of people who do. So think like, do you remember when you were at school, Tammy, and you had to learn about the periodic table?
Mm-hmm.
It was hydrogen and helium and sodium and calcium. I had to remember them all. They never gave it to us, so I used to write it down. As the proctor would stand there and he would say, go, I'd write down hydrogen, helium, he. Little boys break cold nitrogen over father's neck. No more old silicon paper sold close to you. I've written out all the elements. You know what's missing in this world today? A big element is missing off that periodic table, and it's called H2H, human to human. It's now time to write in H2H. There you go, human to human. You cannot go wrong when you reach out every day. Let's say you do it, as Tammy suggested, a 5 by 5 by 5. 5 emails, 5 voicemails, 5 personalized notes.
Yeah.
That's 15 people a day. By the end of the month, you have touched so many people's lives. And it doesn't matter if you repeat back over them and them again. That energy is not wasted. You will realize that we're all in this together. We're not separate. We're all in this world together.
And be happy, like find ways to find happiness in this situation. Like connect with your children, your family, your like I've drove through my neighborhood the other day and I seen neighbors that were sitting in lawn chairs across the street from each other, still having conversations. There is still ways to social distance and still connect. Like you can still connect. You have to be creative. Think outside of the box. Like, what are your ideas? Put in the comments some ideas that you have on thinking outside of the box for connecting with others during this time. What are you doing? How are you connecting right now? Would love to hear your suggestions. And just making sure that you are making memories with your family during this time. Our kids that we're like, it can be a little chaotic and distracting. I know my kids home, I've had another child here that's been doing school with Hunter, and they're sometimes in and out of my office, and it can be a little distracting, but you're never going to have this time with them again. And our kids are uncertain too, and they're going to take their lead from us. And so now is our time to lead not only our own family, but we are leaders in our communities and with our database, our connections, our employers, everything, take on a leadership role and step into your power, be the amazing person that you're here to be, and be happy, be positive, and take this and shift your thoughts around any negativity you have, and use this time to grow yourself, grow your business, work on your business instead of in your business. Like we're so used to being out there and, either selling houses and going and prospecting old-fashioned way. Right now, you can actually be strategic in your business and plan. Use this time wisely.
Oh, wow. Great words of wisdom there, Tammy. I couldn't agree more.
Sorry, I got passionate there.
No, oh, there's a good word. Passion is more infectious than hepatitis and COVID-19 combined. And when you're passionate, it's energy that you move forward to other people. People wonder what you've been up to when you're passionate. And yes, I couldn't agree with you more. This is the time to be strategic and to realize, to look deep in yourself. What is your unique value proposition? How will you be remembered? And do more of that. I know myself, I'm the unshackler. And the only way I can get people unstuck is to ask them great questions. Because if you ask people really great questions, you eventually find the crack where the light gets in. And when people realize that you care and they respond, but doing nothing is not an option. Let me say that again. Doing nothing is not an option. Get into curiosity. Get into asking questions. Make it all about the other person. If you want to be interesting, you have to be interested. And to talk to all those people in your life, don't take them for granted. Just care about them. And suddenly none of that energy goes to waste.
Yes. Yes.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, so let me look and see. We had some comments. Let's see. So Shannon Gilmore said, thank you. Jennifer Shapiro said, Roger, hi. John Woods said, the unshackler. Jennifer said, love to make my bed, changes everything. Shannon said, yes, turn off the news and get up and go.
Yeah.
Carlisa said is watching. Sean said, great analogy. Let's see. So Sean is doing a virtual happy hour and trivia games. She's created a community group on Facebook to connect with her tribe and neighbors. That's awesome. So yeah, anybody else have anything to share? Please share with us what you're doing in this time. How are you working on your business? Do you have any suggestions? This is also the time where you can really deep dive into self-discovery of who you are, finding your passion, your purpose. Going back to so we've talked about the start of the day, kind of some things to happen throughout the day, market update. So at the end of the day, I think what is really important is journaling about what happened throughout the day, the good, the bad, or actually I like to talk about the bad, the good. Whichever, as long as you're ending on a good note. I always like to end on a good note. So just get all of it out, and then 5 things that you're grateful for. And sometimes that might be hard. There might be days that finding great gratitude is hard, but I also like it to be more like drawn out. Like, I am grateful for that Hunter is a strong leader, that sometimes she uses her voice and it may come across as very abrasive, but it's a great leadership skill. And I know that this will take her far in life. So my job as her parent is to help her, guide her. And I am grateful that she has this skill. I am grateful for Dakota and his leadership skills. And so I am is a powerful 2 words, using those words, and then I am grateful, and writing it if you can. Like, some people will use an app and put it down, and I think that works too, but there is a power in the pen and putting that out into the universe. And so I think that that's really important. If you can end your day in gratitude, I think that you'll sleep so much better.
Yes. Being mindful, so helpful. There are some, as you were speaking, Tammy, it reminded me there's some words that I have decided to remove from my vocabulary. I very seldom say I want and I need. I want to do this, I need to do that. It's those words, just those 2 words. It's almost like I want to do it, I need to do it, but I can't do anything until somebody gives me something. We've got everything we need. We don't want or need anything. And want and need I have replaced with the words, I will. I intend. It is my ambition. By such and such a date, the following will happen. And I've realized that changed my brain chemistry. I don't want or need anything. My future is spotless, spotless. I decide what I take into the future. And therefore, when you can decide to write down, I am not taking any baggage from the past. I am a whole individual and my future is spotless. You can decide to change your brain chemistry, because all our brain is there for is to protect you. It's for survival. It's not thinking success. So with intentionality, you can bring success to your life just by those focused habits that you were speaking about. You still there, Tammy? Did I lose you? Oh, there you go. I lost you for a bit. Sorry. You're on mute, I think, Tammy. There you go.
Okay.
I lost you for a while. I don't know where I was. Yeah.
I don't know. It froze up.
Okay. I was talking some crazy South African accent somewhere, so it doesn't matter. It was all about intentionality. In fact,
Being intentional.
words are just so important. Those of you that are in real estate, you never ever use the word commission. People hate paying commissions. Rather use the word, I have a 6% fee for service or a 6% brokerage. It takes the sting out of it because people's brains are, oh, commission, negative. Fee for service, oh, okay. You never have a down payment, ever, because it sounds like you're losing money. You have an initial investment. That kind of stuff. You never have a contract, because if you say contract, people think lawyers. You talk about agreement or paperwork. You never ask people to sign. You ask people to okay, endorse, approve. You don't meet at the security gates. You meet at the welcome center. Think about your words.
Your words are so powerful.
Yep.
Your words are so powerful. When you were saying that the words that you've taken out of your vocabulary words, it reminded me, David, my husband, he used to say that he would not let us say can't. If you say can't, then you have to hit yourself upside the head. So like when the kids were, even after he passed, when the kids were little and still do, like, hey, you said the C word, you got to hit yourself upside the head.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you went, Tammy, you went through a lot of pain when David went away. And you could have easily said, well, I can't be happy because until this happens and then I'll be happy. People make excuses as to why they can't be happy. Have you got any advice for them?
Yeah, I think that it's important to, when you're going through life challenges, to give yourself grace. I didn't always go through it gracefully. I made mistakes, and we're human, but I think that it's important to know that I always was trying and that when you are going through challenges, it's important to get help. It's important to find a coach, a mentor, a therapist, maybe even a couple different coaches, mentors that are different, skilled at different things that can help you, to guide you in the way that you need to grow. And I think that was one of the biggest shifts for me is I had some life coaching, and then I also started doing Sandler training, which helped to give me new skills, but it also gave me the consistency of each week going somewhere where I had to be there. And I started learning about DISC and communication. And so even though technically I have been in sales since I was like 12 years old, I'd never had any formal education. I got into finance by selling somebody to give me an opportunity. So my story, wasn't like I got a 4-year degree and then I, got into finance that way. I mean, I was given opportunities because I was good in sales, but I'd never had formal training until after my husband died. And then I needed structure. And so I think that when you're going through life challenges, really learning about who you are and getting support from the right people is key. And I say the right people because I also got support from the wrong people. And I think that is just as damaging, if not more. So you have to make sure that you are talking to the right people, because if you're sharing with the wrong people, then they can either be minimizing what your pain is and making you feel crazy or feel insignificant. And that's not okay, because your pain is your pain. Each person's journey is individual. Or they can deepen your depression and send you spiraling, or they can give you advice that ends up making you question your complete belief system. It's weird to think about all of the different people and the advice that I've gotten over the last 7 years or the lifetime. And how now just going back and really digging into all of it and going, yeah, that's good. I got to really understand that a little bit more. And I think that if I had been on a better place when I was getting the advice, which you never are, when you're getting advice, right? You're getting consulting because you need it. So I guess that's my advice, is whatever advice you're getting, make sure that you are verifying the facts do meet your value system.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that moral compass. And sometimes this time when we are sequestered away, physical isolation, not social isolation, it is a time of reflection. Mm-hmm. Evaluate the people in your life. When in doubt, leave it out, and think about is what you're doing in alignment with your moral values. Well, you've just demonstrated grace under fire. There is no doubt. And so that was inspirational to listen. And so many people say to me, well, Roger, if I was to have what you have, then I would do the right thing, and then I would be happy. And that's that have, do, be, when it's actually meant to be happy. It's a conscious decision. Conscious to be happy, do the right thing, then you will have what you want, because it's just your brain trying to protect you. And so you made that switch in your brain. You decided to be happy and be focused and energetic, teach other people, learn things. That was doing the right thing. And now you have your happiness back.
Yes.
But it does require self-reflection and a little bit of learning. So nice to listen to you.
Thank you. I think that during the time of self-isolation, because now there's some different life events that I think that people go through, and people inside, especially people inside my group, have experienced that I've actually experienced, is some emotional abuse that you go through, that where people mess with your mind. That takes isolation of yourself and some really deep discovery first before you're trying to get any kind of help. I think that you really need that alone time, and using that alone time to really heal, and writing things down, everything down that you can remember, not only to get it out of your head, because you have to get negative thoughts out of your head, or your brain will keep spinning them around. Our brains will not quit remembering things until there is a record of it, because it doesn't know good or bad. It wants to remember. So, I got to remember that. And you may not remember that good thought, but that bad thought, it will keep remembering that bad thought easier unless you write it down. So you're better off to journal and get the negative out so your brain can release it. And So you have to write the good thoughts down too, because your brain may not remember those either.
Wow.
But when you experience emotional abuse, taking the time to heal and disengage from a lot of things is the number one best thing that I ever did, by far.
Wow, that was great. Wow, you've just sparked my brain. I mean, we have about 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day, each one of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not forgotten. It goes from the conscious into the subconscious. And if our thoughts are perpetually negative, that's who we become.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, that's who we become. And when you decide to be mindful and thoughtful and write down the positive things, it remembers only the positive things, as you said, because your brain is not right or wrong, doesn't know good from evil. It's just trying to support you. So you're right. This mindfulness brings us forward in a hugely distracted world. In 1975, the average attention span of an American was 15 to 20 minutes. Today, in March 2020, it's 4.5 seconds and dropping. And so if you wish to get the attention of other people, you have to be reflective of yourself. What is your unique value proposition? How do you say it in such a way that's in line with your moral compass, but gets people to go, oh, wow, what did you say? I want to hear that. People are looking for certainty. So in order to have human to human, H to H, discover what it is that makes you vital, that is your life force, and speak that way. And then suddenly people gravitate towards you. In a world where it's a blood sport for your brain. In the old days, your boss used to sit in the corner office. No longer. Here's the boss. It's your smartphone. And we go back for Google time every time we can. In the old days, we'd go and crack a book. We'd go to the library. We would listen. No. We go to our little bubble now. And it's a blood sport for our brain. And the marketing people are winning. You can wrestle back control. Find out who you are, and maybe at another time we can discuss that 90-minute jam session where you sequester yourself with airplane time, where nobody can find you, and what do you do with 90 minutes of focus once a week? One thing could change everything.
One thing can change everything.
Yep.
Dedication, that's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. Well, this has been so good. Actually, we still have we have about 10 people that are listening to us right now. Nice.
Wow. We managed to hold on to them.
We managed to hold on to them. Nice.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Well, I really appreciate you letting me pick your brain and you coming on and sharing all of your insight and the visuals for sure. And I appreciate all of your support and your friendship.
Well, Tammy, the feeling is mutual. I love the way you live your life with positivity, intentionality. Everything you do and say, your energy precedes you, and you are looking to learn something and teach something. And the teacher always learns more than the student, and you are a font and a wealth of knowledge. So I appreciate you too. And we are going to thrive. Why? Because we believe it. We are going to thrive because no pressure, no diamonds. And we will come out of here as people that contribute towards other people. We're all on this planet together. We're all made up of the same elements. H to H, human to human. Thank you for giving me this time.
Human to human. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you. Let's see.